Hey folks, this is another video in a series that aspires to teach Google Apps Script's DriveApp to beginners. In previous lessons, we've learned how to access all the files from Google Drive, how to access files from folders as well as subfolders, how to move files, how to delete files, and how to delete folders. We're going to resume by navigating to the Files module, where we will be creating a new script file. So we're going to call this k_create_folder. We'll hit enter. We're going to change the name of our function to be called folder C creator. We're going to save our project and we will begin on line 2. So in the last lesson, we learned how to delete folders from a parent folder. So I have this empty project folder now because I deleted 5 subfolders, which means that it is perfect for adding new folders. So I'm going to begin by highlighting the URL and by copying the folder ID at the end of the link. We're going to be using that in order to move a new folder into our empty project folder. So we're going to go back to Drive. We are starting on line 2, where we will hit enter once, add 2 slashes for a comment, where we will create a new folder. We're going to hit enter and tab. So we're going to declare a variable called folder, and we're going to set that equal to DriveApp.createFolder. We'll have an open parentheses, and at this point we can enter in the name of the folder. So it has to be in the format of a string, which means that we will have single quotes or double quotes. It doesn't matter which one you use. Just make sure that you remain consistent with whatever you've been using up to this point in the project. So I'm going to add in single quotes, and I'm going to call this new folder. I'm going to hit the right arrow on my keyboards twice, and I'm going to use .getID. I'm going to have an open parentheses. I am not going to pass any arguments into this function, so I'm just going to hit the right arrow on my keyboard and add a semicolon. So you don't have to use .getID with create folder, but the reason that I want to get the ID is because we're going to use it in order to move this folder into a new destination. So if you just use DriveApp.createFolder and you enter in a name, it's going to end up on just the home page of your drive. So whenever you open up My Drive and Home, that new folder will just appear there. But I want to organize this into my project folder. So I'm going to be using the ID of this newly created folder in order to set a destination. So I'm going to resume on line 4 by hitting enter twice, left arrow twice on my keyboard, left arrow on my keyboard, I hit it twice, add 2 slashes for a comment, and I'm going to define the destination. I'm going to hit enter and tab. So I'm going to declare a variable of folder, DEST, short for destination, folder dest. We're going to have that equal to DriveApp dot get F folder by ID, and we're going to have an open parentheses. This also takes the identification number as a string, so we're going to enter in single quotes or double quotes, whatever you've been using. And then I'm going to paste in the folder ID that I copied from my project folder at the beginning of the video. So if you haven't done that yet, go to your drive, copy a folder ID, and then enter it so that you can create your new project folder and then move it into your desired destination. We're going to add a semicolon at the end. We're going to hit enter twice. We're going to hit the left arrow on our keyboard twice, add 2 slashes for a comment, and now we will use the folder ID to move the newly created folder into the destination folder. I'm going to hit enter and tab. I'm going to use DriveApp.getFolder by ID. I'll have an open parentheses. I'm going to enter in the folder that I want to move. So in this case, we're going to be using the folder variable from line 4. That's why we're using .getID, because we want to move the folder using its ID. So after we create the folder, we'll get the ID, and then we're using it on line 10 in order to figure out where to place it. So after that, we're going to add .move, capital T2, open parentheses, and then we're going to enter in the destination, which needs to reference DriveApp.folder. So we already use DriveApp.getFolderById in order to establish the value of our folder destination variable. So if you did not create a variable like I did, then you would have to use DriveApp.getFolder by name or by ID within move to. So you can't just say move to and then pass an ID or a name, something like that. You have to use DriveApp. So we are going to use that folder dest variable that we created. We're going to hit the right arrow on our keyboard. We're going to use a semicolon and we're going to hit run. Our code compiled successfully. So now when I go to my project folder, you can see that it went from having nothing in there to having a new folder in there. So like I said, if you don't care where your folder goes, then all you have to do is do driveapp.createFolder, and then that will create a folder on your My Drive window. So for example, here I have My Drive, and I have these 3 folders here. If I remove this code here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy driveapp.createFolder. I'm just going to comment out all of the code above it. So if you just want to create a new folder and you don't care where it goes, all you have to do is just say driveapp.createFolder, hit run, and then you'll see that we have a new folder pop up on my drive. But if you want to move your folder into a destination, then you can follow the method that we talked about.
I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to continue following along with this series, please check out the playlist linked in the description.